Our Bible reading for today covers chapter 9, verse 35 through chapter 10, verse 21. These verses comprise what we commonly know as the Good Shepherd discourse. It's in these verses that Jesus claims to be the Good Shepherd. He says, I am the Good Shepherd. That's one of those 7 I am statements that Jesus makes in John's Gospel. We've heard others, I am the light of the world, I am the bread of life, etc. And so now he says, I am the Good Shepherd. The thing I love about these verses, and I think you probably do as well, is the relational nature of these verses. The idea that Jesus is a good shepherd who takes care of his sheep, who meets them where they are, calls them by name. We'll get into that, but before Jesus explains how he is a good shepherd who lays down his life for his sheep, he finds the man that he healed in the first part of chapter 9, and he makes sure that guy understands and knows that he is loved and cared for by his shepherd. The man was kicked out of the synagogue. His parents decided that they weren't going to tell the truth about what had happened to the man because they were afraid of being kicked out of the synagogue. And that's the way the Jews held power over the Jewish people. The leaders held power over the Jewish people in those days. They had very tight control over who participated in the synagogue, and the synagogue was the center of life. And so when this young man who had been born blind received sight from Jesus, had the audacity to testify to who Jesus Christ is, as hopefully you and I would as well, they kicked him out of the synagogue and he was left alone. Did he mind? Maybe not, but at the same time, he certainly was concerned about what he was going to do for his friendships, for his family relationships, for his social involvement, maybe even a potential job in the future, maybe even the place where he had received his income by the alms of those who had contributed to his need and to his situation through the life of the synagogue. And so now he's healed and he's completely and totally pushed away from everything that he's ever known and all the people he's ever known, and so he's alone. And so Jesus searches him out and finds him. If you remember from reading those verses yesterday or the last time we got together, you may remember that when Jesus healed the guy, he goes off into the crowd. He leaves the man, and then the man is interrogated by the Jewish leaders, and then Jesus finds him and meets him where he is. That's a demonstration of how Jesus cares for his people. Then he goes on and he begins to explain, Jesus does, in the beginning of chapter 10, that he is the good shepherd. This is natural for Jesus to care for his lost sheep, to care for those who are in need. This is one of the most wonderful benefits of being a follower of Christ. It's one of the most wonderful truths that we find in the scriptures, that the God of all glory provides for and cares for his people. He loves them. I mean, who doesn't love the 23rd Psalm where we read those words, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Those words remind us of the shepherding love and care that God gives to his people. And here in John chapter 10, Jesus says, I am the good shepherd. I am the door of the sheep. I am the good shepherd. I am the one who loves them and lays down his life for his sheep. I call them by name. That man, that young man who had his eyesight restored by Jesus, understood that Jesus not only knew who he was, but Jesus knew him intimately and pursued him and called him by name. That's true for you and me. We see in these verses the relational nature of life with Jesus. It's relational. Of course, it's cliche in our world to say that Christianity isn't a religion, it's a relationship. It is a religion. There are beliefs and there are practices based upon those beliefs and values, but it is also a relationship with God. Our lives are lived in relationship with God. We also notice that in these verses we begin to catch a glimpse of what will become very prominent at the end of John's Gospel, the idea that glory comes from sacrificing oneself for the glory of God. Jesus' glory is revealed on his cross, and the call in your life and my life is to sacrifice ourselves for the sake of Jesus and for the betterment of others to the glory of God. You guys take care. See you next time.